Well, what we're doing with the Creating Voices project at Bath Abbey at the moment is talking to the craftspeople that gave us the building that we've got today and helped restore it from 1942 to 2000. And these are people who helped restore the stonework, the masons who helped restore the tower and the pillars and helped piece those back together in the 1950s. It's the people who helped put the Great East Window back in the 1950s after it was blown out during the Bath Blitz. We also want to talk to people who are involved in restoring the organ, the bells, the clock, the carillon. All the fabric of the Abbey, the material building that we see today, has been worked on since 1942. And we really want to record the stories of the people who are responsible for restoring, conserving the building that they come to visit today.
There are two questions I think that arise out of that. One is there seems to be an appeal for people to come forward, but before we talk about that, let's talk about some of the people who have come forward. I'm not asking you to name names, but a couple of stories that you have found amazing already.
There have been so many amazing stories, and everyone's got a little story that they can tell. So if you do have a story, then please do come forward, no matter how small it is. In terms of the stories that we've already recorded, thinking of the East Window there, we talked to the partner of one of the glaziers who helped put it in between 52 and 55, and just the stories and the descriptions of them working by night by hurricane lamp in some of the cold winters of 1954, and the mortar was so cold it was very hard to work. The stories of the masons who restored the outside of the building, and one particularly of a mason who helped avert a fire in Christmas Eve 1954. There were sparks falling from the grate in the roof there, and a visitor noticed these, and the mason was working on the paving slabs in front of the altar because they wanted the altar to be ready for the Christmas service. And he, due to his quick thinking, grabbed the bucket of fixant that they were using to fix the slabs in front of the altar, ran all the way up the tower and extinguished the fire. So wonderful stories of saving the Abbey, and the stories of people more recently who were involved in the Abbey 2000 project, which was a project where, amongst other things, the interior stone of the Abbey was cleaned. So if you look at pictures before the cleaning, the stonework was black, and this was due to candle smoke and old gas lighting that used to be in the Abbey from long before the 1940s. And what the Abbey 2000 project did was it cleaned the stonework. It gave us the lovely creamy stonework back that we now take for granted in the Abbey, and it revealed amazing details. So, for example, the rainbow painted arches above the sanctuary there, above the East Window, they were discovered and they were cleaned as part of the Abbey 2000 project. So amazing stories of new discoveries in the Abbey and old parts of the Abbey conserved and cleaned.
What are you doing with these oral histories? How are they being recorded?
Well, that's something that I'm really passionate about, and one of the things that I really love about this project is that all these stories will be made accessible to people, and people that come to visit the Abbey or visit the Abbey website will be able to hear these stories and learn from them. So one of the ways that we're sharing these stories is online through our website. Another up and coming way that we're sharing the stories is through our activity days. So on the 30th of October, for example, we're running an activity day here at the Abbey that focuses on the restoration and conservation of the stonework and sculpture of the Abbey from the 40s onwards. And at these days we'll have various listening stations where people can learn from the oral histories that we've recorded. There'll be hands-on activities, so children can learn how to draw like a sculptor, or have a go at clay modelling, or actually have a go at some stone carving as well. So those skills are being passed on through hands-on activities, through listening to the recordings. We're also going to develop a new audio guide for the Abbey using the oral histories that we've recorded. And it will feed into tower tours and lots of different aspects, the Abbey website. So we're really pleased that all of these stories and all of these activities can be shared with all the visitors to this great building.